Igbos yet to see help from federal government, Igbo youth leader said in what he considered to be the focus of COVID-19 palliatives policy. Nse Obong Okon Ekong interact with Elliot Ugochukwu Uko, president of the Igbo Youth Movement, and other issues that define ties among central government and the different states particularly. Nothing is inspiring. My dear brothers, it's as if all of us are still there. Time to mark. The situation in the country does not make anyone I know anxious, fulfilled, optimistic, or happy. This can't be isolated from the South. No one knows where we are going exactly. It's not the right moment. The COVID-19 holiday helps you to look for yourself and your soul. Nonetheless, less privileged and the vulnerable is disturbing. But to relieve their misery, the government is distributing foodstuff and making cash payments to the very poor across the world. So we watch on TV and in the newspapers. There is no such thing as cash payments and free central government food here in the East. What we have here is commendable effort to stem the hunger and hardship that daily income earners, churches, corporate institutions, individuals, and a couple of politicians. The volume of aid getting to this group of people is inadequate. We are yet to see any kind of help from the central government. Government is playing games with Eastern Nigeria as usual. Nothing stops them from distributing the aids or whatever through the 774 local government areas. If they are sincere, that way it will get to every region. But they obviously don't want to do that. They seem to be concentrating in the north, especially the northeast and northwest. As normal, our people feel sidelined. No town or village in Igbo land may claim to feel the effect of palliative federal government. We are just in the news here of that. I challenge the people in charge here in the East to come out and show us their beneficiaries. If something happens here, then it must be very infinitesimal that no one feels the effect. We are being purposely ignored as always. The same people who sideline our region wonder why the youth of this region, like yesterday, want to move out of Nigeria. The government has released billions. Rich countries, international governments, individuals, and organizations who have contributed billions. Just yesterday, the European Union gave 50 billion euros, and Igbo land is left out because the largest is spread in certain regions to the exclusion of others. They just help the secession agitators recruitment drive. This is both tragic and worrying. Is the Eastern Nigerian governor aware of this lopsided distribution? And if so, what are they doing to fix the anomalies? I encourage you journalists to investigate this inequity and bring it to the authorities' attention. These inequities and disparities are things that create revolutions. Note that you don't need a soothsayer, just a little spark might lead to riots and mayhem. The little support available isn't spread equally around the world. That is inequality, which is wrong. Any discerning person can see that the people applying the dichotomy are seeding the seeds for a revolution. In reality, they say to some regions, go to hell, you don't belong here. Our governors should notice that this region angry people are unhappy with the state of affairs in the country, especially the so-called palliatives, one-sided style of distribution. Our people are noticeably disappointed. Why are the governors unwilling to seize the opportunity and introduce their own palliative measures? I don't want to speak to our governors about that. I don't agree with their style, nor do I want to violate my code of ethics, which is not criticizing any governor, as that would annoy me. The people know whether or not the governors stand up for them. When I and Professor Ben Nwabweze escorted Nnamdi Kanu to a meeting with the governors of the Southeast 2 years ago, I realized that the central government's overbearing presence makes it impossible for the governors of the Southeast to be their own individual. I have been painfully aware of why the federal government is so interested in someone who emerges as governor in Igbo land. My dear brother, Ndi Igbo is in great trouble. Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi is good at trying to stop battle of any kind. He is having a rough time being a good person. Governor Umahi of Ebonyi State, while doing wonders in Ebonyi with very impressive development of infrastructure, is completely committed to pleasure politics. Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano vowed to battle his benefactors from day one, thus focusing on the longevity in office. He has never stood up for Indigo aspiration to name. Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu has no accomplishment which you can put on your finger. He too struggles for life. The governor of Imo State Supreme Court Senator Hope Uzodinma is the one who would split Igbo land. True but sad. Perhaps no one is talking about it now. However, he will deliver the next leader in Ohaneze in 9 months. You won't expect him to appoint a sympathizer of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). That will contradict why at this time he was made governor by intimidation. You will also not want Ndigo to flood with his candidate for Ohaneze, while will certainly be a sympathizer of All Progressive Congress (APC). The last 9 months of Ohaneze current president Okwesilieze Nwodo might also be the last days of a united Ohanaeze. So Indigo is going through tough times and it is not over yet. The younger generation are not proud of our politicians. They are no one's heroes, save the singers of praise and cheerleaders, of course. Nigerians owners would never encourage strong-willed independent-minded guys to emerge as governors in Igbo land for obvious reasons. We are a conquered people, kept in slavery and being actively controlled. Each of our members are responsible actors. The motive is a taboo, a no-go area, never to talk, yet curiously, severely items are being discovered by the angry youngsters, which explains their agitation. The people who sell and distribute the palliatives know they don't take the Southeast completely along. They can cleverly plan a roadshow for photo or propaganda purposes somewhere in Igbo land, but no one knows their whereabouts. Thank you for listening to this news. Wow, viewers, you can see what is going on in the southeast. These things are getting out of hand, even till this very time, till this very day. This is the second time President Muhammadu Buhari is calling is imposing the lockdown in Nigeria, and even to date, the Igbos has not even been remembered. This is very very unfair of the federal government, and now yet they will still be saying that the Igbos should not go for agitation. They should die down the agitation for Biafran Republic. How can that be possible? How can that happen when the Igbos are still being intimidated? Why they are still being um, treated as if they are a nobody in this country? Tell me why won't they agitate? In fact, This will even ginger and fuel the agitation the more. This will even push them more to the wall, more to the front to agitate for the Republic of Biafra. Enough is enough. Nigeria has just seen a little of the agitation. They will see the main one after the call off of this lockdown. So, my viewers, this is my little opinion. Don't forget your comment concerning this news of great importance. Don't forget to leave them behind. Click on the subscription buttons as well as bell button to receive more.